Hello, my name's Justin Urquhart Stewart, and thank you for joining me. And those who haven't seen us before, you're very welcome indeed. This is my weekly ramble about key issues I think we should be trying to look at. Well, let's not talk too much of the individual markets at the moment because there's going to be so much change going on over the next 2 months with the economic data. In the States, you've had your latest figures on employment, and short term, that looks very good. But of course, that's only, frankly, the icing on top of the cake. We've actually got to look at the inside of the cake, where the job losses are still very huge indeed. And of course, going into the pandemic wasn't easy, but coming out of it is really very difficult indeed. But one of the issues we need to look at is to do with the issues of private equity. Now, private equity is the ability, which has been very popular, particularly for businesses in the leisure industry, and particularly restaurants and things like that, providing debt, normally for a period of 3 years, 5 years if they get it wrong, then they sell it on. And they sell it on to another private equity firm, who will add more debt to it, who then sell it on to another private equity firm. It's a bit like pass the parcel. Now, you keep on passing the parcel until the poor old company can't take any more debt, and it goes bust. And it goes bust, and then comes back, having gone bust, and resurrects itself to something else. Now, private equity firms are going to find an awful lot of these businesses now suffering greatly with a lot of debt at a time with the pandemic has actually meant that their businesses just disappeared and maybe slowly coming back. And we won't see the full damage of this until actually the pandemic or the worst part of it is past and the economies start to open up properly. That'll take some time. What that will enable us to do then is actually have a look at some businesses which will be sold off by the private equity firms for really just to try and get any asset value they can get. The longer term value actually will be quite interesting. So maybe intellectual property, maybe actual property itself. It may be also some of the products that they're actually providing. Now, any of those elements which are being sold off cheaply, we should be looking at. They may not be actually tradable companies, but they'll be assets. So have a look at your own cash position, keep some on the side, and have a look for the sales of these private equity firms having to sell, being forced sellers of some of these businesses, because effectively they're going bust. And going bust means you can then be part of a group which will be going back in there to resurrect them, recapitalize them. So from failures, you get a phoenix. And the phoenix company is the one you should be looking for. You won't be alone. There'll be another bird after it as well, called a vulture fund. These vulture funds will go around picking up the bones of these businesses and looking for exactly the same things that we would be looking at as well. I suppose you could call me a vulture fund as well, trying to do the same. But nothing wrong with vultures. They may not look particularly pleasant, but they're very good at clearing up the carrion and making sure the next businesses can actually grow and develop. So, message to us all as investors. Through the pain of what's happened with the pandemic, and also with what's happened to the economy as a result, companies will fail. It's horrible, it's nasty, it's awful for the people who've been investing, and obviously for the employees there as well. However, the positive side is that within those businesses, there are good assets. Look at them carefully, because don't just be taken by the bunkum of what was there 2 years before, because the business has changed. There may be intellectual property, there may be proper assets in there, like a property itself. And so be selective and see what you can find. How do you find these? Well, follow what some of the vulture funds are already doing. Look in the papers and online to see actually what some of these funds are now buying up. And they'll be looking for those assets as well. To that, you can also look at some of the larger companies who won't be going bust, but they will be trying to refocus their business. The term refocus is just another way of actually saying selling off old businesses they no longer want. Or let's say old, just businesses that no longer fit their book. Again, use that for your opportunity. So for the moment, cash is king. You're going to get not a lot from your deposit account, in fact, nothing at all. But use your eyes and ears to look for those assets coming from the failures and make yourself into a phoenix coming from the failures. Good luck and look forward to see you again soon. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.